There is in every major metropolitan area in this country a street that when you're driving past it, you think, good God, car, don't break down here. We see all the abject despair, the loss, the poverty, the disenfranchisement. Many times we'll think, man, that really is bad down there. Somebody ought to do something about that one day. My question is, who's somebody? I'm Bill Courtney. I'm the host of the podcast An Army of Normal Folks and the subject of the Academy Award-winning documentary Undefeated. I coached in inner city Manassas, just me, just a guy. And I watched in an area where an 18-year-old male is 3 times more likely to be in jail by his 21st birthday than he is to have a job or a college degree. And our last year, we graduated 18 seniors and 17 went to college. And it's not because of me, it's because of a bunch of people who invested in an area that needed it, and we let humanity do its thing. There's this great disillusionment that, who am I? What can I do? I can't make a difference. Well, I'm here to tell you, over the last 2 years, I've met over 100 people who shatter that narrative.
This is Stand Together Presents stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
I have coached games where I've been down 28 points at halftime, and there is no such thing as a 29-point touchdown. In other words, you're never going to make up a 28-point deficit like that. But here's what you can do. You can go out and score a touchdown, and you can cut it 28-7 and then play some good defense. You can go score another touchdown. And little by little, you chip away at it. And I think the lessons of how you should coach are also the lessons of how we should approach culture and society in general. When I showed up to Manassas, their previous 10 years record was 4 wins and 95 losses. What happened was the culture of winning and losing in the game of football started to change, but so did the kids' attitudes toward winning and losing in life. Right now, we got a lot of dysfunction in our culture.
Crisis facing America's schools.
Double-digit jump in homelessness.
Violent crime in America's cities.
I think that we've come to a place that we just don't think we can make a difference anymore. Volunteer hours are at an all-time low. Philanthropic giving is at an all-time low. I think a lot of Americans are sitting on the sideline, and I don't think it's because they don't care. I genuinely think it's because they don't know how. We have to do a better job of providing those roadmaps. There is not one thing that's going to fix it, but what if we had millions of us that decided, I want to be part of the solution. And little by little, each of us did what we could to chip away at this dysfunction and chip away at the division. Like in a football game, I think that's how you come back. An Army of Normal Folks is a simple concept. Every week, we interview some normal person from somewhere in the United States who has used their skill set and their passion to engage and better their culture. And the whole idea is to tell those stories and inspire our audience to see themselves as no different than our guests and employ their skill sets and their passion in their neck of the woods. Do you have like a favorite story that will let our listeners understand just how profoundly important this work is?
Yeah, there are many stories.
If you're sitting on the sideline and you want to do something, but you think, how can I? Every single one of our guests should inspire you because they are just like you. One of the first people I interviewed was a guy named John Ponder. John was a habitual offender and was in and out of jail since his teen years. When he left the federal prison, he wanted to have a reentry program, and he had a different idea and a different way to do it. And he starts a thing called Hope for Prisoners. He matches up people returning from prison with mentors, many of whom are the very people that arrested him in the first place, members of the Las Vegas Police Department. And these mentors work with people returning from prisons to help them reintegrate into society. Today, Hope for Prisoners in Vegas is one of the most successful reentry programs in the United States. 67% of people who've been in jail will reoffend. If you go through John's program, it's 8%. 8. Ann Malum. She was running through an area in Philly, and every day she passed by this homeless shelter, and she has this cockamamie idea, and she runs up to the homeless shelter and goes inside and asks the guy running the homeless shelter, hey, I want to start a running club. And little by little, she grew it, and she said, I'm gonna call this thing Back on My Feet. And she started running clubs for the homeless. Because in her mind, if you could commit to be up and on time every day to go for a 3-mile run, despite the pain and the anguish and the sweat and the heat, if you could learn that skill set, maybe you could change your life. Now there are 7,500 formerly homeless Americans that now have homes and jobs as a result of Back on My Feet. The magic happens when we match our skill set with our passion at an area of opportunity. And that magic can happen for anybody, anywhere. What do you have the skill set to do? What do you have the ability to do, and what are you passionate about? Just do that. There is not a single person on the face of the planet that does not have a skill set and does not have a passion that can have a positive impact on another human being. We just have to have the temerity to engage. If we had millions and millions of Americans doing that, we can literally fix what ails us. But it's going to take an army of normal folks, not government, not the smart people on CNN and Fox, not the people with the social media. They're not fixing anything. It's us. If we actually said, I'm going to dig in my heels, I'm going to be a rock that this societal dysfunction breaks itself on, and I'm going to employ my passion and my skill set in areas of need. If we had millions of people doing that, this world changes.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.